The next counting method we are going to discuss is the plurality with elimination method. And this particular method is played in rounds, or you see here round 1, round 2. But before we start in the rounds, the first thing that we have to do is determine how many votes are needed for a majority. So in order to do that, I'm just going to look down here at the preference schedule to find how many votes are needed for a majority. We need to find the total number of voters. So here, this is where all the total number of voters are. We're just going to add up all these numbers, 14 plus 10 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1. Then we are going to divide it by 2 because we're trying to figure out that halfway mark. Once we find that halfway mark, we're either going to round up or add 1 to it in order to determine the number for the majority winner. After we have that number, then we go into the rounds. The first thing we do for round 1 is count the first place votes for each candidate. And once we have those votes counted, what we're looking for is a person that has a majority of the first place votes. And if there is a candidate who has a majority of the first place votes, they win the election under the plurality with elimination method, and that's it. However, if someone does not have a majority of the first place votes, then what we do is we eliminate the person or eliminate the candidate with the least first place votes. And then that moves us on to round 2. In round 2, what we do is we distribute the eliminated candidate's votes to the next preferred candidate. Now let's just look here at our example, and I'm just going to look at a piece of this. Let's just look at this one column just to kind of illustrate what distribute the eliminated candidate's votes to the next preferred candidate, what exactly that means. So let's just, for instance, say that Jim was eliminated. So what we have to realize is that there's 4 people that voted this particular way. They voted Jim first, Pam second, Michael third, and Dwight fourth. So if, let's just say Jim had the least amount of first place votes, he gets eliminated. So what happens is those 4 votes now go to the next preferred candidate, which in this instance would be Pam. That would be these 4 people's their next choice. If Jim can't get their 4 votes, then who they want to get they want Pam to get those 4 votes. So that's how those eliminated votes would get distributed. So that's what that means. After you do that, then what you do is you recount the first place votes. If there's a person that has a majority of the first place votes, then they win. That's it. However, if no one has a majority of the first place votes, then what we do is we eliminate the one with the least amount of first place votes and then move on to rounds 3 or 4. You just keep repeating the same process over and over until you have a person who has a majority of the first place votes, and then they are the winner. So let's just dive into the problem and let's get after it. So the first thing we have to do is determine how many votes are needed for the majority winner. So I'm going to write here majority winner equals the total number of votes divided by 2. And to find the total number of votes, we're just going to add up all these numbers. So that would be, 14 plus 10 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1. Now when you add up all those numbers, they equal 37. Oops, I forgot. I've got to divide it all by 2. Divide this by 2 and divide this by 2. And so the total number of votes divided by 2 is equal to 18.5. Now that is the halfway mark, okay? And what we're looking for is a majority, over half. And so 18.5 is half. We need over half. That's why we round up. So the majority winner needs to have 19 votes. That's what we need. So that's what we're looking for. So now we're ready for the rounds. So round 1 states that what we do is we count up the first place votes for each candidate. So let's start with Dwight. How many first place votes does Dwight have? Well, Dwight has 14 there. Does Dwight have any other first place votes? Nope, that's it for Dwight. So we are going to move on to, let's move on to Jim. Oh, we look here, Jim has 4 first place votes. Okay, we're going to move on. Let's move on to Michael. Michael has 10 first place votes there, and then another 1 over there, so 10 plus 1 is going to be 11. And then finally Pam. Pam has 8. So we are looking for a person that has 19 first place votes. At this point, nobody has 19 first place votes. So what we need to do is we eliminate the one with the least amount of first place votes. So in this particular example, the person who has the least amount of votes is Jim. Jim gets eliminated. So I'm going to go up to my preference schedule and I'm just going to eliminate Jim. Everywhere Jim's name is, he is now eliminated. Okay, and now it's on to round 2. Okay, on round 2 it says distribute the eliminated candidate's votes to the next preferred candidate. So this is kind of what we were talking about. If you see here, the only person who was in first place that got eliminated was Jim. So there's 4 people that voted for Jim first. So now that Jim is no longer in the election, those 4 people, they're going to want their votes to go to their next preferred candidate, which in this instance would be Pam. So Pam is going to get an extra 4 votes. So we're just going to recount the first place votes. Just going to adjust this. Okay. So we're going to start with Dwight. Dwight still gets 14. Move on to Michael. Michael gets the 10 and the 1, so he still has 11. And then Pam. Pam has her 8. And then these 4 votes that used to be Jim's are now distributed to Pam. So Pam picks up those extra 4 points for a total of 12. So we are still looking. Does anybody have 19 first place votes? No, no one has 19 first place votes. So what the plurality with elimination method states, it's that if no one has a majority of the first place votes, then we eliminate the person with the least amount of first place votes, which in this example would be Michael. So now Michael is eliminated. So I'm going to go up to my preference schedule, and everywhere Michael is, like in this instance, Michael has these 10 first place votes. He's eliminated. You know, Jim is also eliminated, so those 10 votes are now going to go to Pam. But I'm going to keep on eliminating Michael, and then he's eliminated here, so we're going to have to distribute those, it looks like, to Pam as well. So we are on to round 3. Round 3, it looks like we only have 2 people left. We have Dwight and Pam. So I'm just going to start in the first column, go column by column. You know, Dwight, he gets those 14 votes. In column 2, there's 10 votes. Michael's eliminated. Jim is eliminated. So those 10 votes. The next preferred candidate is Pam. So Pam gets those 10. Pam gets those 8. In this column here, Jim was eliminated, so Pam gets those. And then the last column, Michael was eliminated, so that 1 vote goes to Pam for a total of 23. And the number we're looking for is 19. A person that has 19 votes, at least 19, they would be the majority winner. And if you look here, Pam has 23 votes, so that means that Pam wins under the plurality with elimination method. So what we're going to go over now is how to find the complete ranking. So who was in first? It's obvious who was in first. Pam was in first. And then who was in second, third, and fourth. So who came in second was just the last person that was standing with Pam, and that would be Dwight. That's a D. Dwight. And then we're just going to work backwards. If we look back here in round 2, the person that was eliminated was Michael. So that means Michael is in third place. And then work back again to round 1, we see that Jim was eliminated. So that means Jim was in He was in 4th place. So the complete ranking would be Pam, Dwight, Michael, and Jim.